Rachel. So today I have a new Get Ready With Me tutorial, and today I'm gonna do some voiceover. It's my first time, so I hope you guys like it. So to start off, I'm using the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe herbs and rose water. So I just spritz this all over my face and it's really hydrating. It's sort of like a toner, but it gives this hydrating feel. It's a great way to start the makeup. Next, I use the Farsali Unicorn Tears Serum. Now, I saw this on Instagram and I just had to try it. It's definitely like a trendy product, but I really do find that it gives a lot of moisture to the skin, but it's very light. I even apply it to my lips. It has fruit extracts and it really gives this luminous glow. It's worth the hype, in my opinion. Next, I use the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Moisturizer, and the reason I love this moisturizer, it's really light and it has SPF 25, so you're protecting your skin throughout the day, and it's just a simple, classic moisturizer. Next, this is one of my favorite new products. It's the Anomi ACE Brightening Under Eye Cream, and it has this illuminating properties. It has like little light pigments in it, so it really does make your eyes look brighter. I have really dark circles, so even before I put on any concealer, I feel like my eyes are looking a little brighter. Next, I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation, and I am in shade 2.0. Now, this is a bit of a new foundation for me. I'm usually using the Smashbox Studio Skin, but I really do like this foundation. I don't find it to be as high coverage as the Smashbox Studio Skin, but it has a really nice effect on the skin and it does last all day. And of course, I apply with the Beauty Blender, which is my favorite tool. I've been using it for so many years now. It's one of those things, like if I'm on a vacation and I don't have my Beauty Blender, I freak out. I have to go buy it. It's just, for me, the only way to apply foundation. God, it takes forever to put on foundation, doesn't it? It is really the longest part of the process. Putting on foundation, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. I apply foundation all over the face and even on my eyelids. My eyelids tend to be a little bit more red, and so I always want to cut that. So I start right away with foundation, and then I also apply concealer over my eyelids. Next, I go in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I am in the shade Light Point 2 Creme Brulee, which of course I love that this shade is called Creme Brulee. But I apply it with a concealer brush in a little triangle under my eyes, and then I also apply it directly to any discoloration, pimples, or I feel like I have a lot of broken capillaries around my nose. So I apply it directly to any ugliness, I would say. And then I use the Beauty Blender Mini to blend it out. I actually really, at first I was like, what is the point of having a mini Beauty Blender? But it really works well for getting in the under eye area and really in that inner corner. It's so much better than the big Beauty Blender Original, so I highly recommend the Beauty Blender Mini. So next I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. Now, this has been my favorite powder for quite a while now. I just feel like it doesn't have any flashback when you take photos, and it has a really light, kind of almost creaminess to it. It's not too cakey or powdery. And I apply it with the powder puff that you can buy separately. I find that it applies really well. Sometimes in a hurry, I'll apply it just with the Beauty Blender, but I feel like this gives the most airbrush effect. Next, I am using the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer, and I'm using the shade Sun Kissed. And what I find with this bronzer is it's a little bit more on the orangey, peachy side. It's not a true brown bronzer, and I actually like it. It gives a little bit more of a sunny look to the skin, and I apply with the MAC 1415 brush, which I find it to be a great blush for powder contouring. You can really get into the hollows of the cheeks and on the side of the nose and up near the hairline, just to give that nice effect. So to blend it all in, I use the Kat Von D powder brush. It's my favorite powder brush. Her brushes are beautiful, and I don't find that they lose their hair too much. For the blush, I'm using the Virtual Domination palette from NARS, and the shade is Sex Fantasy. NARS always has very unique names for their blushes, and all their products really. So this shade is a little bit warmer, so that's kind of what I'm going with this overall look with the bronzer and with the blush. It's a little heavy, so I'm blending it out with the Kat Von D powder brush. So it's not too much of a clown effect, but it has a warmth to it that I really like. Next, I'm going in with the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette. It's the Shimmering Skin Perfector palette, and it has 3 shades: Pearl, Champagne Pop, and Blushed Copper. Now, I know that this palette is no longer available, but I believe all 3 of these highlighters are sold individually. So I'm using the Champagne Pop shade, which I really love. It has such a beautiful pearlescence, and as a highlighter, it's amazing. And I'm using one of the Kat Von D brushes, which I find really applies the highlighter pretty strongly. A fan brush is great for a lighter highlighter look, but this one really distributes the particles of the product, so you get that true sexy, sassy highlighter look. And so I apply it on my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, and then in the Cupid's bow and around the corners of my lips, just to give that pop. And then I use the Kat Von D brush to, again, just blend it all together. So next I'm going in with the Naked 2 palette Basics from Urban Decay, starting with the shade Skimp. It's clearly my favorite shade in this palette. It's just a creamy sort of champagne color, and I apply it all over the lid. For me, I just feel like it neutralizes the eye while giving a little bit of shimmer. Next, I go back in with the Becca palette and use the shade Pearl, and I apply it right to the inner corners of my eye. You can just see it has a brightness, a little bit on the bridge of the nose and under the eyebrow. I like this shade of the Becca palette because it's a true kind of crisp white highlight, but I use it pretty sparingly. So next I'm going in with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Now, I don't use a ton of products on my brows normally. I like to keep them pretty simple. I'm trying to grow them out now, actually, to give a little bit more of a full effect. So what I do is I just apply, this is a clear mascara basically, and it just helps to shape the brows and set them for the whole day, so I can have that lifted effect of a very full brows. So next I'm going in with my Stila liquid liner. This is my favorite liquid liner. I don't use any other liquid liners normally. This one is the best. It's the most black, it's the most pigmented, and I find that the applicator is just really easy to use. It's got a felt tip, and so I just go in and do my sweep that I'm kind of famous for. Just a one sweep across to give that winged liner. Sorry, it's a little blurry. The autofocus likes to focus on the hand because it's closer to the screen. Anyway, sorry. But you can see on this eye, I just swoop, and that's the liquid liner. So I have lash extensions, so I'm not gonna apply mascara to the top lashes. If you're interested in learning more about eyelash extensions, you can check out my video. I'll link it in the down bar. But I use the Tartalist mascara on the lower lashes. I don't think you can have extensions on your lower lashes, so you can still use a mascara there to continue to brighten the eyes. So next I'm using a lip balm from Lancome, and I really like this one. It just really kind of plumps up the lips a little bit, and usually I apply it right at the beginning when I apply my moisturizer, but I kind of forgot today. But I think that that's the best way to really let the lips soften while you're putting on the rest of your makeup, so that by the time you get to the lips, you have super soft, gorgeous lips. So next I'm going in with the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Bow and Arrow, and I love this shade because it's really a dusty rose, kind of reminiscent of the 90s, and I find that really gives the lips a plumping effect, makes them look a little bigger, and is really on trend right now. So last, I'm gonna show you guys one of my makeup secrets that I've been doing for a few months now, and it's actually adding in freckles. So naturally I do have freckles, but I find that they get covered really quickly with foundation. I tend to wear higher coverage foundations. So I decided one day to go in and add some freckles back in where I have them naturally and sort of exaggerate them. So I use this, it's like a eyebrow pen from Lancome, and it's a kind of a blonde, it's for blonde brows. So I go in and just really lightly add freckles. So I start with the nose, bridge of the nose, and then right around the nose, kind of under the eyes, and then up towards the temples where I naturally have freckles. I just add them in right there, and I just think it's such a youthful effect. So this is the final look. Added a little braid, but I hope you guys have liked this voiceover tutorial. If you guys do like the voiceovers, let me know. Just leave a comment below and be sure to like. If you guys prefer the videos with just music, that's cool too. Just let me know. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.